Christians and atheists when they go and they look at YouTube or something and they're like, oh man, everyone is just like cussing each other out right now. I don't really want to be a part of this. And I think the main problem is you just get on the internet and you're like, oh, well, you can't really see me, so you get like a plus 50 to your cockiness. It happens with anything, really. Holy crap, we are going down here. Oh, anticlimactic! Yeah, let's talk about that in another video. Let's continue talking about video game addiction. Video game addiction is really bad if you're not careful. And then again, addiction with anything is, but video game addiction really did mess up my life really bad. I am still actually kind of struggling a little bit from those 2 years that I didn't really do school. Like I still have trouble with math. I've always had trouble with math, but that year, those 2 years really did mess me up. 'Cause, I have a really bad problem with algebra. I can barely do it. I don't really understand it. And it's mainly due to skipping that year, and also, you know, some other years before that. Math has never been my strong point. I've always been a lot better at English, and for some weird reason, like history. I never really liked chemistry or any of that stuff. Chemistry, to me, is just so boring. I am not very interested in that kind of particular stuff, say like, I don't know, chemicals and stuff, and then like when it comes to science in general, like, you know, planets and space, I don't like that, honestly. I kind of, you know, when you think about it really, I'm sure there's like all kinds of stuff out there in space that we have no idea about. And it's just weird because you get so used to just thinking about the world that we live in and that there's probably nothing else like it, that we are like the only ones here, and it's crazy to think that there could be other stuff out there that we just can't comprehend, and we just can't even think about it. It's weird. It's just, try to imagine yourself. Here's something that I've always kind of thought. I know if you're a Christian, you probably believe that when you die, you're going to ascend to the heavens with Jesus, or that is when he comes back. I'm not 100% sure. Forgive me. My knowledge on religion, Christianity based, is kind of rusty, and we're going to go back to the top. But I know that I think you guys believe that you go to heaven, and you're judged on your if you believe in Jesus or something like that. I've always thought that it would be so much nicer if when we died, we just died. There wasn't a, if you didn't believe in God, you're not going to heaven, or there's not a, if you didn't do enough good deeds, you're not going to heaven, you're going to hell because you didn't do anything good. I just kind of wish, and I'm hoping that this is it at least, that when we die, we all just go into this just state of nothing. We're just gone. Or something I would like is particularly reincarnation. Not necessarily you come back as a goat, but you come back as another human, and thus continuing the cycle of life. You die, you're born as a child, a baby, you know, something like that. That is what I think would be interesting. But at the same time, when I was talking to one of my old girlfriends, Stephanie, about this, and I know she does not watch any of these videos, so whatever. We were talking about that. She was a Mormon, and I was particularly not new into atheism, but I was somewhat rejecting Christianity, just not to rebel per se, but it was just because I just didn't believe in it. A lot of stuff was just going down, and it was just, God just did not seem to be there, and I was just like, all right, I need to seriously take a look at religion, because the main reason that I was even a Christian in the first place was because of my parents, and they took me to church. Not that I'm saying there's anything wrong about that, but I really think you should look into, atheism is not a religion, but you should look into other kinds of religions, and you should seriously question everything in your religion, or anything that you believe, down to a T. You should not just willingly accept something. You should always question, and if it does not sit right with you, I would not suggest believing in that, because that is kind of how I got to where I am today. I really don't think there's anything wrong with Christianity. I just, there's a lot of questions that don't get answered too well for me. That's my main problem, and I'm at the point where I just don't really believe in anything. And getting back to the other point, man, video game addiction turned into religion. Don't be hating, guys. I don't really want to start anything. It's just to offer your 2 cents if you have anything about this. But atheism versus Christianity is a really big debate on here, on YouTube at least. And I think both sides of the party get really bad rep just for how they handle things. But going back to when we die, I kind of wish that we could just die, and that's it. And as I was talking to my old girlfriend, Stephanie, about this, as I already mentioned, she's a Mormon, she said that it would be kind of sad that if you just died and you turned into nothing. And I kind of thought about it, and I was like, I guess it would be sad, but the way she described Mormonism to me, her religion, that there are 3 tiers of heaven. The first tier, obviously, is the best tier, and it has Jesus. I don't exactly remember how you get sanctioned off into these different tiers. There is the second tier, which is not so bad, and then there's the third tier, which is like, playing a game, or it's like you can be free to play, or you can be a member and get a shit ton of awesome stuff. So, level 1 is shit ton of awesome stuff. Level 3 is free member. So, something like that. Anyways, as she said it, like, if you were on, say you died and you go to level 3, right? Well, you can't go up to level 2 or 1 for whatever reason. But say if your family is on level 1, pimping it out with Jesus, they can, like, come down to you, but they're not going to really want to visit because, you know, level 3 sucks and level 1 is amazing. So that is basically how she explained it to me. And I just got to thinking, why can't it just be, why can't there just not be any religions? Why can't we all just kind of, you know, be able to do good things? Just have karma kind of rule everything. You do good things will happen to you. You do bad things will happen to you. You die, if you've done enough good things, you go to heaven because you're a good person. If you were bad, you go to hell. And it's not, you know, just like, oh man, I stole a lollipop, I'm going to hell. I mean, like, you shot somebody and then you raped their wife. I mean, that kind of bad. That's that kind of bad. It's just, I think religion takes too much of an emphasis on people sometimes. Because I've lost a lot of friends due to the fact that I am not a Christian and I do not believe in their religion. And I think it's just stupid. I think it would just be so much easier to get along with each other if